Mark's seen Sleepy Hollow in 4K, and like a lot of comments on the thread of your review, Mark, I don't think I've seen this for a long time. Like
Shame on you.
Long time.
Yeah, I know, but I read your
Shame on
review and I see the score and I'm like, oh my God. And I see Christopher Walken and I think, oh my God. But
So you looked at the pictures and you looked at the numbers. Thanks, Kaz.
I did. In fact, I
Makes me wonder why
looked at the numbers first to decide whether I needed to see the picture.
It's all about the numbers. Right. So then in which case, the film remains the gloriously almost high camp ode to all things horror, Hammer and Roger Corman's glorious Gothic Poe, Vincent Price adaptations of the 60s. It's wonderful. Yes, Depp is practicing for Jack Sparrow, but it's great cast of British thesps. The glorious cinematography, and yes, Christopher Walken and his razor sharp teeth it's just a blast of brilliant Halloween fun. It's slightly darker than you remember. I came to it thinking, well, it's just a little step up above Edward Scissorhands in terms of family friendly. Yes, not really, but it's a huge blast of fun. However, the problem with it has been, and probably one of the reasons why you haven't seen it for so long, is it's been very poorly served on disc, especially in this country. Well, to be fair, in this country and the States. So what we've got here for this new 4K is we've got a brand new 4K restoration of the 35mm negative. Now, I don't know if you can remember what the previous Blu-ray looked like. It was very early doors. It was 2006. It was MPEG-2. Wow. It was the days when they didn't really know what to do with anything that didn't look like natural light. So the highly stylized, the bleached cinematography, the grain, it just looked like a very poor, very digital, very processed picture. This has now gone back to its roots and has done away with all of that. And it's a glorious picture that's just held back from perfection on a couple of things. The grayscale is now, I say the grayscale, the contrast ratio, because it's virtually black and white for most of it, apart from the splashes of color. The contrast ratio now on this initially seems to have been flattened a little bit, because on the old version, there were really brights and really darks. But of course, the whites were blown out and the blacks were crushed. Here, you've got none of that. It's a glorious even spread of colors throughout it. The color palette with the HDR grade and the wide color gamut hasn't really changed that much. It has slightly warmed up overall. So instead of those searing digital bright light colors, you've now got something slightly more authentic, slightly more natural, but it still doesn't lose that stylized look. There's a couple of instances where the grain completely disappears. There's a dream sequence with a very red door against a cream background, and it just looks, it looks like someone's just spilled grease all over the image. Now, of course, the first thing you think about that is, well, someone's got a little bit fruity with the DNR. However, what's interesting, if you check the encode at that point, you look at the bit rates. This had a bit rate that was hovering around the top, the high 60s, low 70s. And at this bit, it drops to single figures on the encode in terms of bits. So you kind of wonder, was it hit with the DNR stick, or is it just a bit of a lousy encode that's just not pulling that detail through? Now, those things, literally, there's 3 or 4 instances of that, and they're a split second each. So by no means does that ruin the enjoyment. By no means is this a Paramount, Fatal Attraction or Planes, Trains and Automobiles kind of problem. Not one bit. It's still a glorious image through and through, but you've just got to be aware that there's a couple of instances where it just looks a little bit different. Now, when it comes to audio, I was a little bit lazy in my audio review, and before I'd even actually listened to the track, I'd already written, it's the same 5.1 DTS HD mix from the previous disc. It isn't. It is a DTS HD MA 5.1 mix, as per the last disc, but this is a new, and I don't know whether or not I call it a new sound mix or a new soundtrack or what have you, but it is not the same audio track that was on the previous disc here, which is very strange. This one, it sounds like it's been opened up. It sounds like it's been turbocharged. I listened, I did spot comparisons to the third act horse and carriage chase through the forest, and the hooves are now everywhere in the room, as opposed to feeling slightly hemmed in to the front, to the center speaker on the last one. It goes much deeper. It goes much louder. So for those thinking, oh well, it's just another 5.1. It's a different 5.1, and it is a better 5.1. Would you have liked an Atmos track? Well, of course we'd liked an Atmos track, but actually what we've got here is really good. So that's another upgrade over the previous discs. However, there's always something, and in this case, it's the extras. And frankly, I'm really disappointed in Paramount for a film of this status, this beloved, with 20 odd years, since it's come out. We must be getting near some anniversary, something, to literally stick on 2 crappy EPK featurettes from the time and nothing else. And as if to rub our noses in it, Paramount, they wrote on the back of the box, you get a Tim Burton commentary. Well, you don't. So they're even lying to us as to what we get on the disc, the swines. So
this is Paramount, though, isn't it?
This is Paramount.
You did say Paramount.
I did say Paramount.
You didn't say like Arrow.
No.
No, I said Paramount. Okay. Or Second Sight? It wasn't Second Sight?
No.
Okay. So what were you expecting?
Well, not fibs for starters, So ultimately, this disc. I mean, the other thing to say is I got it on the sexy new kind of steelbook, which is half steelbook, half media book for Bello. I don't know, and it looks brilliant until you realise it's a hugely heavy steelbook with an actual printed copy of the Washington Irving short story inside, but it doesn't. There's no clasp, so it doesn't click shut. It's just open. It's just, it's a little bit crazy. But all things considered, I'm really pleased with this release. Yes, I can moan about the extras, but frankly, I can go to YouTube and find out everything I want to know about the film off that and Wiki and IMDb. I'm not going to let that put me off a fantastic film now with a fantastic audio and visual transfer. So I think for fans of the film, even if you've got the old disc, this is a revelation. Go pick it up. It's brilliant.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't remember the last time I saw that film.
No, I know. It's been a minute.
Put it on your Halloween watch list this year.
Damn it, Mark. It's expensive even talking to you. If you really like this podcast, then buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/AVForums.